Sorting. Arrange systematically in groups. Separate according to type, class, etc. Separating. Divide or cause to divide into constituent or distinct elements. Golf shooter here, and today's video is about defining the differences between sorting brass and separating brass. These are case sorters. You can find these at Midway USA. You can find these at midsouthshooters.com. You can find them probably at Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops, and they're pretty handy tools. The yellow bucket separates anything that's in the 45 caliber range, 44 Magnum, 45 gap. The blue is the next largest. It does 40 caliber, 38 special, and then the black will catch all of the 9. So if there's like 22 long rifle or anything like that, it will not drop 380s though. So there are some deficiencies with these tools. However, they do sort brass by the definitions in which I just read. The question becomes is how do you efficiently and effectively separate the brass once you have it sorted? That's what today's video is about. And I'm gonna kind of demonstrate that for you right now. Well, first let me demonstrate these tools real quick. So I have various calibers in front of me. I got 44 Magnum, 38 Special, 45 ACP, 45 Gap, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 9mm. And when you drop them into the 45 caliber tool, you just shake it. And then the next tool here, the 40 caliber. And then of course the 9mm left. So I got the 9 trapped in this tool. The 40 caliber will catch the 40 and the 38 special. And then the 45 caliber will catch the 44 Magnum, 45 ACP, and 45 Gap. Not a big deal when you're doing 6 rounds like I just did, but when you do a whole bunch of brass that you're trying to sort and separate, it does become somewhat process dependent on how efficient you're able to do that. And I wanted to share my process with you on how I separate once I'm finished sorting. So I'm going to demonstrate this using the 45 caliber, the 45 ACP in particular, along with the 45 Gap. The 44 Magnum I'm not going to touch because it's pretty obvious the differences between a 45 ACP and a 44 Magnum. And even on this lousy camera that I got, you can see the differences. But a 45 Gap, number one, is a cartridge that I have no idea what its purpose is. It's a dumb cartridge in my opinion. However, it does exist, and when you sort, when you reload range brass exclusively like I do, it does become somewhat of an issue. So it has to be caught. In this bucket, I have 499 cases of 45 ACP, and I'm going to toss this 45 Gap in there, and I'm going to find it. I'm going to show you how I do it. Now I know what you're thinking. Heavens to Betsy's, why would you take a bucket full of sorted 45 ACP brass that has already been resized, deprimed, case gauged, wet tumbled in stainless media, and is ready to load, and contaminate it with a stupid 45 Gap cartridge or case? And well, it's to make this video because I can find this relatively quickly. So, however, it does require a little bit of tooling, as I've mentioned in a lot of my videos. And I'm going to go back to the box, all right? And we're going to go ahead and find that 45 Gap that's in there. Let's make sure it's mixed up real good. Okay, I have no idea where it's at, so we're calling it good. Let's go find it. This is the boring part, so be patient, folks. If you notice, when you dump the brass in a device like this, or you really don't even need this, all you need is an ammo tray, the cases will tend to fall in generally speaking, mouth side up. However, you do have to do a little bit of legwork on your own, but that's all right. I've actually already found it, but I don't want to take away the point of the video and going through the whole process of how I do sort, separate brass after it's sorted, because right now I'm dealing with one contaminated case versus, you know, if you come off the range and you grab a whole bunch, you're going to get several. So I don't want to ruin the entire process of how I check it. So I will run through the whole process, but it's pretty quick and it's not too painful. Okay, so that is the 499 cases of 45 ACP and the 1 case of 45 gap, and I have them all nice and pretty inside of these ammo trays. Let me get rid of this. I'm going to turn the camera around here for a minute. And I'm going to try to show you what I see, or what I'm looking for, or how I look for it. And I don't know how well this is going to turn up, guys, but I'm going to do the best I can. Basically, you got to have a light in the backdrop, okay? And when I look at a reloading tray, when I have them full like this, I'm going to hold it flush and slightly angled to my eyeballs, okay? And I'm going to look down every row of these cases. And what I'm looking for, because the 45 gap is going to be shorter than the 45 ACP, I'm going to look for that shorter case. All right? And I'll tell you, I can look. It's a little difficult on camera, but hopefully you get the idea of what you're seeing plus what I'm telling you. But what I'm looking for is that one that sticks out, or actually it sticks in. It's gonna be shorter than the cases that it's in the row. And if you can't tell, this tray here is good. And I'm gonna go ahead and check these as I normally would. So I don't know if you can see them on camera. I'm gonna do the best I can, but it's very difficult to do this and have you see exactly what I'm seeing. But again, I'm just looking to see the mouths of all those cases and them being flush. And this is about how fast I can check 50 cases to see where that 45 gap is. They all have to be sitting, you know, nice and flush. But when that short one's in there, it's gonna rear its ugly head. And I don't know if you can see that. See how it looks like it's missing a tooth right there? See how it's shorter? Looks like there's no case there. And that's because there's a 45 gap sitting there. And again, I apologize if the lighting doesn't work very well. It looks like it's coming up on camera fairly well. When you're looking at it in person, though, that does stick out like a sore thumb. Let me get some light behind it here. And there it is. And that is how I separate brass. This works very well for 380, catching them in a bucket of 9mm, 10mm and 40 caliber, same thing. I use these same trays for my 40 caliber because those sorting trays won't, 10mm and 40 caliber, they're both 40 caliber cases. And they're going to be caught in the blue sorting pan. So they have to be separated, and this is how I do it, and the 10mm are going to stick up high and the 40s are going to stick low, and then I'll just pick out the 10s because they're easier to grab, and then I'm left with all 40s, and that's how I do it. 40 caliber and 45 gap, obviously, 38 special and 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum, 44 special. I do all the same with them. I use these ammo trays. I'm a big fan of using tooling when you can. I look at these ammo trays as a tool. I could look at the cases individually by hand, but in less than just a few minutes, I was able to put all of these cases. Get the camera back here. So I was able to put all of these cases mouth side up in ammo trays. I actually timed myself off camera, and it took me 2 minutes and 10 seconds to put 500 cases in mouth side up in these trays. So I knew I'd be able to do it relatively quickly. So when I'm doing a whole bunch of brass, this is how I separate those off calibers and make sure I get them all when I put my pure, cleaned, resized D prime and case gauge brass in buckets. I know for sure it is that caliber and only that caliber. So this is how I do it, guys. Ammo trays come in real handy. 45 gaps, they'll stick out like sore thumbs, just like the other calibers I explained. So hopefully this little tip helps you. You don't need a box like I did. You can actually just do one tray. You're just gonna have to fill it every time and then check it back to the light like I did. But it'll stick out like a sore thumb using this method here. So hopefully this helps. Again, golf shirt shooter, like the video. It was an awesome video. I know that for a fact because I made it. So hit the like button. If you didn't like it anyway. It's because it's easy to do and I'm asking you nicely. So hopefully this helps you guys. Incorporate it into your reloading practices and your processes, and happy reloading.